As tariffs continue to shake the stock market, Americans are sharing their thoughts on the president's plans. Quinnipiac University poll released new data this week. Polling analyst Tim Malloy is joining us live today with the results. Tim, thank you for your time.
Always a pleasure, Ashley.
Well, you know that anytime I start talking about polls and data, I would like to first talk about methodology. Tell us who you talk to, when you talk to them, how you talk to them.
Here's how we do it. We call cell phones, we call home phones. The computer picks the numbers. We call nationally for 4 days, thousands and thousands of people. This one, interestingly, started the day the tariffs were initially imposed and ended yesterday, the day the 90-day wait was put in. So it's kind of a wacky time to be trying to poll things, but we do have people's opinions.
Yeah, with so much changing, I would imagine results yesterday were quite interesting. So with that, then, let's just get right into it. You asked people, do they approve or disapprove of the way President Donald Trump is handling the economy? Talk to us about folks' thoughts. What did they tell you?
Well, there are a great deal of concerns about everything right now. In fact, the president has slipped a good deal. There's your numbers, and you do very good graphics there, by the way. That's a big gap, and you have to remember that he came in on I'm going to fix the economy. So that 55% of disapproval, it sends some bad signals for the White House and to the nation.
Yeah. One of the questions that I thought was really interesting that you guys did this time is that you asked people that as they think about their financial situation, you gave them 4 options and you told them to rank kind of which one of these economic issues worries them the most right now. Talk to us about your findings there.
Yeah, we gave them 4: food and consumer goods, worried about that, cost of housing or rent, stock market, or your job situation. And look at that. People are most concerned about the price of food and things they would buy. And what's interesting about this, Ashley, is this was across the board agreement. Republicans, Democrats, and independents agreeing, just about the same percentage, that those are the top concerns. Well down the list is housing and stock market, but the price, you know, what's going to hit you at home, in your refrigerator, on your table to eat, if you're going to buy a car, that's why that number is so high.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting is that 47%, that 20%, right? So when we think about the foods and goods and that 20%, which was your housing and rent, those are things people have to buy. You know, it's the necessities.
You are getting down to what makes your household hum. And when you start chipping away at that on any level, even the threat of it, there's deep concern right now about, inflation, not just inflation, a recession. That hits everybody, no matter what your economic strata is.
Yeah. You know, we talked about, tariffs, but trade is also very important. And you all asked people, do they approve or disapprove of the way that the president is handling trade right now? And again, you're seeing people are not too happy.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do well on immigration. He didn't do well on deportation, federal workforce, foreign policy. But take a look at trade. Now, that probably is an umbrella, in fact, for, the tariffs bleed into that. But worrying about a trade deficit has caused this, the president's concern about that has caused this incredibly volatile swing in the stock market, down, up, and then way back down today. So trade is really on people's mind.
Yeah. One of the things you mentioned when you just said that was federal workforce and what's happening with the federal workforce. We know that the person who, or seemingly we're being told the person who's having a big hand in that is Elon Musk, who, it has a very big footprint, I'll say, here in the Austin area. You all asked people, do they think Elon Musk has too much or too little or about the right amount of decision making in regards to the U.S., and what did folks have to say?
57% say he has way too much power, just about the right amount, 33%. He's never been popular, especially so with women, but that's a terrible number for Musk, and that may be why he's been not phased out. He's still around, but he's not as president as we've seen. Got to keep in mind, and 30% of the federal workforce that has been laid off or fired are former military. So this is, and you're a state that has a lot of military folks. These things start cutting to the bone, and when you have Elon Musk, a multi-billionaire, richest guy on earth, wielding a blowtorch to it, it really strikes a nerve. So he is not a popular guy.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly interesting data to find. If people want to see the rest of the poll, if they want to see more of the numbers, where can they find it?
Quinnipiac.edu. You can just Google Quinnipiac poll. We've got the numbers up. Going back 30 years. That'll really bore you. If you want to see the recent ones, do it.
Yeah.
And tough time with volatility, but I've done that with the word volatility, so don't worry about it.
It happens to the best. It happens to the best of us. You know the word, but it won't come out.
I know. I've done it.
Tim Malloy, poll analyst with Quinnipiac University. Tim, thank you so much for your time today.
Nice work. Okay. Thanks.